All right, New Orleans. Welcome to the Tuesday night edition of the Jack Clegg Show. And I have to say, happy Halloween. Although Halloween isn't a formal holiday, it's one of the biggest holidays we have in this country. You're listening to our show on WGSO 990 AM and WGSO.com. And we're also on Facebook, X, and YouTube. You'll be able to watch us. And there are several things. Boy, oh boy, there are so many topics in the news, so many things to choose to talk about. And I'll go through the list of things we're going to list today, but we already have callers on the line. We're going to hold. Let me go through the summary of what we're going to do, and then we'll get to the callers. And by the way, new glasses. I have new glasses. I get my glasses from an extraordinarily exclusive store in New Orleans. It's called Dollar Tree, and they cost $1.25, and they work. Anyway, so thank you, Dollar Tree, for selling me another pair of glasses. I've used so many glasses. Anyway, okay. So, yes, the practitioners of the black arts are lining up their minions all through the country. But there is major pushback and some victories all over the country. Louisiana and Texas are among them. What we're going to talk about tonight, well, again, we're going to mention congratulations to Mike Johnson and Mike Johnson's plan to help America's best ally overseas, Israel. They are the best ally, no doubt about it, in the Middle East, and they have helped us destroy terrorism in the Middle East, and now they're under attack, both in Israel and in the United States by pro-Palestinian forces. But Mike Johnson, our new Speaker of the House, has come up with a brilliant plan to fund the Israelis and give them some help. And by the way, the method by which he's doing it is going to help all Americans. He's going to have it paid for by the IRS. Brilliant, brilliant plan. And we're going to get into that later on. Okay, that's one issue we're going to talk about tonight. We're also going to talk about the most recent efforts to stop Donald Trump. These, we know that the Justice Department and local justice departments led by Democrats and liberals in other states, such as Georgia, have determined that it's best that they interfere with his campaign by putting him under indictment. And there are currently 91 felony charges against Trump. But that's not enough. Now, the Secretary of States in more than 5 states are considering whether Trump can be on the ballot because of a post-Civil War 14th Amendment Section 3 provision. And actually, Trump's trial is in its second day in Colorado. And this is a trial to see whether or not he's going to be taken off the ballot for 2024 in Colorado. We're going to talk about that. Next, a real question, and I'm hoping that some of our callers with brighter minds can help me take advantage of this. How can Louisiana take advantage of our Republican majority? Republican governor, likely Republican House Speaker, and a conservative House Speaker. Perhaps, I'm hoping so, maybe Cameron Henry. And supermajorities in both the Louisiana House and the Louisiana Senate. How can we take advantage of that both locally and nationally? And this is the time to do it. And now's the time to plan. So waiting to hear on that. And fourth, a victory by Texas Governor Greg Abbott and his team in Texas, that not only are they fighting to keep illegal immigrants out, fighting to have some sense out of what's going on with this crazy effort for people all over the world to sneak into the United States, but he's also got to fight federal authorities. And we're going to talk about the incredible, there's been a decision by Judge Moses of the Western District of Texas saying, sorry, Border Patrol guys, when the Texas state authorities put up razor wire to prevent illegal immigrants from coming into state, you and the Border Patrol cannot destroy that razor wire. That's what they were doing. So an injunction has been issued in the Western District of Texas preventing Border Patrol guys from destroying the razor wire, which was put in to prevent people from trying to cross at that point. And if that case, depending on how it goes one way or the other, the appeal will go to the Fifth Circuit here in New Orleans, and I am pretty sure the Fifth Circuit is going to side with Texas on this. And again, illustrating that while every day we're thinking about what's going on in Gaza and what's going on in Palestine and the loose border between them and how people could come back and forth, we've got the same problem in the United States. And so those are the issues. But before we go to a break, let's get on Matthew. I think he's on hold. And maybe he has a comment about one of these issues or maybe an issue that I haven't touched. Matthew, how are you this evening?
No. You touched a lot of very meaningful issues. I am curious, if we stop sending money to Israel, will they still be our best ally?
You say if we stop sending money?
Yes, because every year we give them, I think it was like $3.7 billion, and then we're going to be sending them a bunch of more money.
Sure.
To help them out with this issue they're having with the Palestinians, which are totally justified.
Sure.
I'm not going to say that they're not justified in wreaking bloody vengeance on the Palestinians, but everybody describes them as our best ally in the region, but we fund them.
Right.
So, do you have any friends of yours that are friends only because you send them money?
You mean like my ex-wife?
Oh, well, she's not a friend of yours.
No, actually, she's a dear friend of mine, and we do get along very well. That's kind of an unfair old man wife joke.
Ah, okay.
but
Okay.
your point. But let me just, before I answer that question, let me make a comment. One of the comments that you made, and I'm not attacking you, Matthew, at all, but
oh no, go ahead.
I've heard many people say that what Israel is doing is vengeance or revenge, and I'm going to say I disagree.
Okay.
They have identified a threat, whatever a threat. And the only way, I mean, this has been going on for years and years, the only way that they can properly handle this threat right now, they've decided, is to eliminate it completely. And so while it's easy to say revenge or vengeance, I think it's more like self-preservation than an emotional Okay. Matthew, can you stay on? We're going to take a break. This is the Jack Clegg Show, WGSO 990 AM and WGSO.com. We're going to have a great show tonight. See you in a few moments.
When the time came, I knew I had to find a place where Mom would be safe and active while still feeling independent. A place that was close to all of us and everything she needed. Locally owned and operated in the heart of Gonzales, I found Francois Ben's Senior Living. They specialize in independent and assisted living and memory care.
Call 225-647-BEND for more information on our special pre-leasing offers.
Francois Benz Senior Living. Experience life as it should be.
Hey, this is BJ Russ. Make sure you join me every Saturday night for the Something to Say radio show right here on WGSO 990 AM. We'll be on from 7 to 8 p.m. We'll talk sports, music, movies, and pretty much anything in between. Saturday nights at 7 p.m. on WGSO 990 AM. That's the place to be. And don't forget that you can listen to us on WGSO.com and on the Mixler app. A business without signage is like a car with a flat tire. It's not going anywhere fast. Sir Speedy can change that. We're a trusted resource for sign design and production. Whether you need trade show displays, banners, posters, directional signs, window decals, wall graphics, or more, Sir Speedy's sign capabilities can help your business get noticed. Call us today at 504-586-9812. Sir Speedy, we do it.
Join me, Mitch Gibbs, live on WGSO Radio 990 AM every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. in our 8th season of Breakfast with the Bayou Bengals, talking LSU football live on the Gulf Coast of Mississippi in Bay St. Louis, Mississippi at the Silver Slipper Casino, where we're talking LSU football all season long.
Hey, it's Christian. When it comes to buying appliances, buy where the builders buy, and that's at DTS Appliance Direct. Shop locally. Don't go to the big box store when you need a new appliance. Call my friends at DTS Appliance Direct, 504-766-0738. DTS Appliance Direct has brands from GE, Cafe, Monogram, Blaze Grill, C-Line, and many more. DTS Appliance Direct, 504-766-0738. 504-766-0738. Hey, this is Christian Garrick. I'm excited about my new show on WGSO 990 AM, Monday through Friday, noon to 2 p.m. There are a lot of things going on in this country and in the city that are concerning. I'm your voice. You might be afraid to speak out for fear of cancel culture or losing your job. The Christian Garrick Show on WGSO is your platform, noon to 2, weekdays, right here on 990 AM WGSO.
All right, New Orleans, welcome back to the Tuesday night edition of the Jack Clegg Show on WGSO 990 AM and WGSO.com. And we had a caller that we were discussing the current plan of Speaker of the House Mike Johnson to fund Israel in the amount of $14.3 billion in aid. And there are two aspects of this that are worthy of just, well, three. One, okay, we should give them aid, okay, and they are a significant ally of ours. I don't think
Are they?
Are they a significant ally of ours? I think so. Oh, I think so. They are.
Okay.
I believe, in my view, without Israel there and a place in the Middle East where we can, I think from an intelligence sources, we can kind of get an idea of what's going on on the ground there. I don't think we do it through our own intelligence. I think we do it through Israeli intelligence. Okay.
No, I don't think we have the capabilities of running much of an intelligence agency nowadays because we rely entirely too much on technical means and satellites. Yeah. We saw satellite images of people in Iran doing paramotor flying, yes. And we thought they were just having fun. So yeah, we're not really good at figuring out
that's
what's
right.
going on with satellites.
And we aren't very mature when it comes to the idea that there are people who hate us. we haven't yet developed a way to understand that. And we're like the kind of guy who wants everyone to like them. No, there are people who have said.
There's a couple of points to that, though. And I've never heard anybody refute these points, but I've heard them brought up. usually by libertarians of the Ron Paul persuasion, and that is that they hate us because we're poking our nose in their business. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Or the other point I hear is they hate us because we are not them. Which brings me back to your point about Israel wiping out the source. As much as I like Donald Trump, and I wish he were in the White House right now, he keeps saying he wiped out ISIS. He did. He dealt them military defeat after military defeat after military defeat, which is a good thing. But ISIS still exists because ISIS is an idea. It's an ideology. It's the same ideology that propels Hamas.
The same
It's an ideology
that propels what we call in the United States those protesters who hate America. They wear black hoods and black masks, and they throw Molotov cocktails, and they break windows. And what do we call those guys?
communists. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
not.
It's the same.
Communism with a very strong religious angle.
It's-
Let's put it that way.
We have people who want them to do what they're doing. They tolerate that. But let me get back on the points that I prepared for tonight, because I think the House bill that Johnson is setting forward is pretty clever. Okay, number one, Israel is going to get $14.3 billion. Okay, Ukraine is not getting a penny. Okay, and you're familiar with why the Republicans, and many Republicans, not all, but many, are suspicious that we're sending hundreds of billions of dollars to Ukraine, but nobody can tell us where the money is going. And I saw reports last week where it's going to support the individuals, small businessmen.
There was a report I saw today on Gab saying that there's officials, high-ranking officials in the Ukrainian government who say that people are stealing it as fast as it comes in.
And that is no surprise. Ukraine does not have a good international reputation when it comes to corruption. They've been a corrupt country since they were formed. Now, is our president currently the subject of blackmail? Are they saying, no, we don't want you to look where the money's going. We need it. Who in the world would send that much money and not know where it's going? That just, I don't know if it's true, but the allegations are made, and I think they're. And the final thing I want to mention about what I think is such a great idea, that what Johnson is doing. Johnson realizes our country has one huge problem that no one wants to talk about. Nobody wants to talk about the trillions and trillions and trillions of debt. I think you called in last week and you were on that topic. Okay, so
yeah, basically I bring it up anytime people want to talk about sending money anywhere, let alone overseas.
Right.
And my point with the massive trimming of the IRS, that's good, but then you want to take those savings and then send them over to Israel. Have they actually asked us for money, or are they just asking us for weapons? We can sell them the weapons.
I don't know enough about the $14.3 billion. I don't know whether that is value of weaponry or whether it's other types of support. I don't know. But they're facing a two-front war. It's actually a two-front war already. The Hezbollah is already crossed.
Hezbollah is launching from the north,
right? But this is you and I may quibble about exactly where the money is being spent and so forth, but the determination not to fund the armaments of the IRS. I mean, remember, part of the money going to the IRS is so they can all be carrying weapons.
They definitely want to be IRS agents into their battle rattle.
Right, it's just like in New Orleans. If you ride on Canal Street and go by the veterans, the Federal Veterans Hospital there, they have their own police department.
Oh, sure.
Okay, but anyway, I want to quote. I want to
During during the reign of Obama the first,
Yes.
they had SWAT teams for the weather service.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I want to read you what Rosa DeLauro. I don't know if you know who Rosa DeLauro is. She's a Democrat.
Democrat congresswoman.
And she is the leader, the ranking Democrat on the House Appropriations Committee. Here's what she says about us funding Israel by taking the money away from another department, IRS. She says, House Republicans are setting a dangerous precedent by suggesting that protecting national security or responding to natural disasters is contingent upon cuts to other programs. So, I don't think when you balance your budget in a business, in your home, anything, that's exactly what you do. You reprioritize all the time. And the fact that 3 years ago you gave money for this particular program doesn't mean you have to still give money to that program. And if a new issue develops, such as the war in the Middle East right now between Israel and Hamas, that means you take money from other programs. It doesn't mean that those other programs are entitled forever to that money and increases forever. Mike Johnson has his finger on that, and that's what I'm happy about.
I'm pleased about that. I'm pleased it's not a blank check to Ukraine either. But
Matthew, I got to cut you off. I got to cut you off. We got to go to a break again. You're one of our best callers. I appreciate it. And give us a call Thursday night. Again, this is a Jack Clegg Show. We're taking a break, and we'll be back in a couple of moments.
Hey, it's Kevin Carr with your personal sneak preview invitation to join me on Sunday evening from 8 to 9 for Fat Guys at the Movies. Each week, I give you my take on the newest movies and movie news, but in a fun way. Not like those stuffy movie review snobs who take themselves way too seriously. I tell you if the new movies rock or not. Yes, it's fun for all ages with Fat Guys at the Movies. I'll see you Sunday evening at 8 on WGSO 990 AM.
The fastest growing conservative talk show in the South is now on 5 days a week on WGSO 990.
That's right. American Ground Radio has moved from Saturdays to Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 p.m.
American Ground Radio is based out of Louisiana and is grounded in the ideas that founded our country.
American Ground Radio is a show for everyone who believes there is greatness within each of us.
So tune in Monday through Friday starting at 8 p.m.
on the community voice of the Crescent City, WGSO 990 AM.
Now, everything old is new again. America's entertainment pop culture talk show.
If you relate to these clips playing in the background, you will relate to Everything Old is New Again right here on WGSO. Hi, this is Douglas Viviani of Everything Old is New Again. Join us for the fun on Saturday mornings at 8 right here on the community voice of the Crescent City, WGSO.
Ralph's Market cordially invites you to its Fall Wine Gala, Friday, November 3rd at La Berge, Baton Rouge. Dress in your Great Gatsby best and sample over 80 wines and hors d'oeuvres. It's the Ralph's Market Fall Wine Gala, November 3rd. Get tickets now at ralphsag.com.
It's the Flaming Conservative. Join me now on Friday nights at 7 p.m. for Holy and Patriotic Jambalaya on WGSO.
Louisiana Radio Network, I'm Colleen Crane. After the fatal shooting of Northwestern State football player Ronnie Caldwell, the season was canceled, but sophomore tight end Javon Jones has started a petition to change that. On the Natchitoches Parish Journal podcast, he says players were never asked about ending the season.
So as far as we knew, we were playing until
they told us, the team, which was a big shock to everyone.
Jones says playing football helps them cope. LSU Associate Athletics Director Taylor Jacobs provided an update on NIL and what's next in the world of college athletics.
The name, image, and likeness era began in July of 2021, and to this point, LSU athletes have been involved in nearly 2,000 NIL agreements. Jacobs says some of the endorsement deals are with huge brands.
Raising Cane's to Nike, to Puma, Taco Bell.
Jacobs says NIL is still not a level playing field as each state has its own laws.
One example of that is alcohol. There are certain states that do allow their student athletes to do alcohol deals, and we don't.
She says revenue sharing could be the next big thing, allowing schools to share TV revenue with athletes.
We are looking at what that means.
I'm Jeff Palermo.
LRN.
Medicaid members, keep your address and phone number up to date to make sure you receive important information about your health insurance and you don't risk losing your coverage. If you get a letter from Louisiana Medicaid, follow the directions and respond to it as soon as possible. For questions or to update your info, call the number on your insurance card or visit healthy.la.gov. That's healthy.la.gov. Remember, keep your contact information up to date and respond to Medicaid letters so you don't lose your health care coverage.
Even a 200-year-old industry can benefit from new technology. Louisiana sugarcane, better farming, stronger science, improved varieties. It all creates a superior crop. Log on, learn more at lakane.org.
Tiger Rag Magazine subscribers are LSU fans in the know. Tiger Rag Magazine gives you exclusive stories, beautiful pictures, and behind-the-scenes insights. Subscribe today and be in the know at tigerrag.com.
Hi, I'm Huck, an active Christian who loves Louisiana. One of my goals is to bring Louisiana's education from 50th to number 1.
And I'm Dave. I'm not afraid of government bureaucrats. I fear God. Our rights and freedoms come from Him.
This is Liberty or Lockdown. Please join us on Thursdays at 5 p.m. on WGSO 990 AM and WGSO.com.
Hey, Mimi, we're moving.
Moving to Wednesdays at 5.
You can check out He Said, She Said on a new day.
Hump Day.
A new day, but we'll still be discussing and debating the hot topics.
And take your phone call.
You can listen to us on 990 AM, WGSO, WGSO.com.
And find out who's right. Of course, that's me.
No, of course, that's me. I've been doing this 23 years, Mimi.
Practice makes perfect.
So you see, we'll have plenty to talk about on He Said, She Said.
Wednesdays at 5.
Right here on WGSO.
Donate your vehicle and make a difference. WGSO 990 AM has partnered with Charitable Adult Rides and Services, also known as CARS, to allow you the opportunity to donate your car, truck, motorcycle, RV, or boat to our nonprofit organization. You may qualify for a tax deduction while supporting a cause that is near and dear to your heart. Simply go to WGSO.com and follow the link on our homepage. Vehicle donation pickup is always free to you, and most vehicles can be picked up within 24 to 72 hours. You'll receive an initial car donation receipt upon pickup, and then the CARS team will work to turn your car into cash to support our cause. Once your vehicle is sold, the CARS team will provide you proper tax forms in time to file. Their friendly donor support representatives are available 7 days a week to assist throughout the process. Again, for more information, go to WGSO.com.
All right, New Orleans, welcome back. It's the Tuesday night edition of the Jack Clegg Show, and you're listening to WGSO 990 AM and WGSO.com. Our call-in number is 504-556-9696, and just to establish the fact that I keep my promises, Cajun Whistleblower. I promise you'd be the first one on, but somebody beat you tonight. Matthew beat you. What do you got to say?
Matthew, he is justified. I love Matthew.
Okay. There's that sad whistle you have.
Yeah, good evening, brother and sister pro-life, push-belong parents, patriots, pet owners, police, military, cowboys and cowgirls. Face it now, brothers and sisters. October 3rd is the Festival of the Devil. October 31st is the Festival Party Time of Satan. Dressing your house up like a house on Haunted Hill and dressing up your children and up like snakes and spiders, Hamas, Iranian terrorists, mass terrorists from hell, and trick-or-treating is not a harmless and fun holy day. Halloween is an evil event. These so-called holy days are actually encouraging
horror movies, murder, terrorism, pedophilia, pornography, and the death all across our precious planet Earth. Have no fellowship with the infruitful workers of darkness. Do not buy, sell, or trade with any of them. Stop the murder and abortion, assassination of America, man.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. And we have another call on hold. We'll get to him in a minute. I just wanted to introduce the next segment of my program, not segment, the next issue. And this is something that is really serious. Okay. When there was the first indictment of Trump, and I heard Trump saying this is interfering with his campaign, I didn't really take that too seriously because you can handle that case. Well, now there are like 4 separate indictments against him on serious matters. 3 in federal court, 1 in Georgia. Okay, and if that wasn't enough, okay, so he's got to deal with these issues daily. If you got a lawsuit and potentially losing your liberty, you've got to be really, really careful and be prepared to make sure your lawyers are all prepared. And it is a daunting task. Okay. Question: do you think Joe Biden could do that? I don't think so. But in addition to those lawsuits, now there are multiple states that are saying Trump cannot be on the ballot in 2024 because he's an insurrectionist. And they're relying upon a fabricated argument, which we passed the 14th Amendment in 1868. Okay, it was after the Civil War. And it prevents anybody who had previously held office by promising to uphold the Constitution from holding political office if they are an insurrectionist or they give aid or support to the country's enemies. All right. Now, no one in 100 years, no politician had ever been prevented from being on a ballot because of that. Many politicians had many ideas that you could make the argument. You could say, oh, this is against the Constitution. This is against America. We don't want, you are an insurrectionist. But nobody did it because that would be foolish. Except now it's going against Trump, who the media and others really don't like. I'm not a Trump fan, but I do remember what the country was like when he was president and what the country's like now. And like most people, I'm like, well, it was a lot better then. But the real problem, as I see it, as a former lawyer and looking at this, Trump is under gag orders. Okay, he's under gag orders, 2 separate ones, where he cannot talk about the cases that are being brought against him, and he cannot criticize the people bringing the cases. So in addition to this interference, he's now going to face another big hurdle. There's an organization called the Republican Accountability Project. That's RAP. And they have created a rap sheet. This is a bunch of people who claim they're Republicans, claim they're conservatives, and they're running a $10.3 million campaign, an ad campaign against Trump. Fox News is going to start running their commercials, and they're all about the rule of law. No one is above the rule of law. So they're going to be hitting particular states, particular audiences, including Atlanta and others where jurors are, hitting Trump on the air, but he can't fight back. This is just, there's something really wrong with this. So keep an eye on that and watch how that develops. Particularly watch it. Fox News starts running those commercials. I'm just amazed that they are going to sell ad time, or they're going to take money from these guys to dump on currently the leading Republican candidate. Okay, let's get back to our callers. Rusty, are you there?
Yes, I am, Jack. You got a whole bunch of issues there that are titillating me, and I don't know which way to go, but I'm going to start
That's
with the
my
last one
job.
just for a few seconds, and think if I can say something about Israel, that would be great, too.
Go ahead.
That's why there's so many people running now in the Republicans. I know my friends who are big Trump supporters, and I'm a supporter too, but not as big as maybe some of them. They don't like the idea there are other party people competing with Trump as Republican candidates. But because of what you just said, he may not be able to run in certain states. The stack is laid against him. 4 years ago, he had no competition when he ran as the nominee. Now they see that he may not make it. Nobody wants to say it out loud, but he may not make it. And if he can't run in every state, then he's lost the election. From what you just said.
Well, yes and no. States like Colorado and Nevada and New Hampshire and their Secretary of States are looking into this issue. In fact, in Colorado, it's day 2 of a trial on this issue. He's already in trial in Colorado on this point. And the question is going to be, does this amendment, okay?
Right.
And it at the time it was passed, it was designed for Southerners who held political office and then joined the Confederacy.
Right.
And that was clearly an insurrection. I mean, this was these states seceded from the Union. I mean, that's destroying the country. It seems to be a little bit broad, I think, to say that what happened on January 6th, we're going to expand to a real insurrection. I mean, they trespassed, okay? Some of the people were violent, and that's true, and they will go to jail. But I don't think there was a plan. They weren't going to have a new country. They weren't going to overthrow our country. So, and again, it ties into something we talked about last Thursday night, and that is that we don't teach civics anymore. I don't think people understand our
Jack,
history. Go ahead.
I don't want to interrupt you, but you don't really need a big civics class and years of civics to see that this is all a Democratic hoax.
That's probably true. But
Trump said, go ahead, march peacefully and patriotically. And some people were upset because of all the shutdowns with COVID and all the things that were happening in the country. And they went in without guns, without any weapons, and they call it an insurrection. It's obviously a ploy for dumb and ignorant people who would call that a revolution or an insurrection. Only dumb people who wanted to accept that as an insurrection. I mean, he was already in power. Trump was still in power when that happened. He still had a couple of weeks left. He didn't need to do that. But anyway, I agree with you 100%. But still in all, these Democrats are so degenerate. They might find a way to keep him out of certain states.
And the thing that I see here is I don't think that they're going to have a legal victory per se. It's just the fight. Taking Trump off the campaign trail. Do you remember in the past he would have these rallies and so forth? Can you hold on? We're about to go to a break.
Sure.
Okay, this is Jack Clegg on the WGSO 990 AM, the Jack Clegg Show. We're going to take a break and come back in a few moments.
Round these parts,
Pass will go out there and it's intercepted.
the game of football
Hammered back at the 29-yard line.
is all
Caught at the 15-yard line. 10, 5.
the rage.
Touchdown, Louisiana.
It means everything. It really does.
This is your radio home for Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns football.
Catch all the action of Ragin' Cajuns football this season only on the community voice of Crescent City, WGSO 990 AM.
A business without signage is like a car with a flat tire. It's not going anywhere fast. Sir Speedy can change that. We're a trusted resource for sign design and production. Whether you need trade show displays, banners, posters, directional signs, window decals, wall graphics, or more, Sir Speedy's sign capabilities can help your business get noticed. Call us today at 504-586-9812. Sir Speedy, we do it.
Hello, this is Jack Clegg. Thank you for listening and participating in the Jack Clegg Show, Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Our audience and management have asked us to extend the show for Thursday nights at 7 p.m. And we will do that. At least until the 2024 election is over. We will continue to oppose rich men north of Richmond who want to control what we think, control what we do.
Join me, Mitch Gibbs, every Monday and Friday at 5 p.m. live on WGSO Radio New Orleans, talking Saints football. The 12th season in the Red Zone will be live at Premier Nissan at 6636 Veterans Boulevard, where Metairie meets Canada, for another exciting season of Saints football live on WGSO Radio.
New Orleans, are you ready to have a conversation? Well, if you are, Ron Richardson is here to tell you that you should tune in to tonight's show, Conversations with Ron Richardson, every Saturday morning from 11 a.m. until 12 noon here on WGSO 990 AM and WGSO.com, where we discuss mental health, disability, and everyday life. Tune in to Conversations with Ron Richardson every Saturday morning from 11 a.m. until 12 noon here on WGSO 990 AM and WGSO.com.
Hey, it's Christian. When it comes to buying appliances, buy where the builders buy, and that's at DTS Appliance Direct. Shop locally. Don't go to the big box store when you need a new appliance. Call my friends at DTS Appliance Direct, 504-766-0738. DTS Appliance Direct has brands like GE, Cafe, Monogram, Blaze Grill, Sea-Line, and many more. DTS Appliance Direct, 504-766-0738. 504-766-0738.
All right, New Orleans, welcome back. This is the fourth and final segment of a show that has been shot out of a cannon. It's gone by so quickly for me. And we have Rusty on the line. Rusty, before I go to another caller, we got one more in line. Did you want to say something about Israel?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You know, you talk about civics, Jack. I wonder how many people have studied recent history of Palestine before it became Israel 75 years ago.
Yeah.
I did that again a few days ago, and I don't think it's all that cut and dry. I do think Israel has a right to protect itself and so on, but if it can't take care of Gaza by itself, how is we going to take care of Iran? Why do we have to give money to everybody? I agree with Matthew.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, we got a border down there where terrorists might be coming in right now,
Right.
coming in great speed and doing worse to us, poisoning our food, doing everything in the world than Hamas did to Israel. And I just think personally that we have to consider our own borders first. Why do we have to give money? If it's a loan, that's one thing. But I do agree with Matthew in this sense that, you know, I think they can fend for themselves in this. You know, and we can support them.
Well, I believe that's the purpose of our military. That's why we have all these carriers. They don't just hang around the United States and form a fence. No, they go to these trouble spots. And I'm a big supporter. The financial deal needs to be figured out, and I'm with you on that. And Israel is doing fine financially. But what they're looking at is giving them $14 billion. If they can get that money, from the IRS budget, then I'm really in favor of it. All right. Listen, great call,
You need 2 hours, Jack.
that's what my producer was just telling me. We need more time.
You need 2
Thursday
hours.
night. Give us a call Thursday. All right. Great talking.
Yeah.
All right, we have one more caller, Steve from St. Charles Parish. Steve, how are you?
Good evening. I like your commercial with your plug on Northman. North of Richmond.
Yes.
North of Richmond. There we go.
You got that one. I that song captivated me, and it's so true because right north of Richmond is Washington D.C. So
Yeah, he's boiling over, man. Like Rusty just said.
Yeah.
I mean, the other side is so evil. You know, they can tell us that the sky is green, and the media will all support it. They all get in lockstep.
Yeah.
Oh, the sky is green today. Don't you know? It's not blue, it's green. And that's what they did to Donald Trump. When he says, go and let your voice be heard peacefully, marching down the street.
Yeah.
Peacefully protest, let your voice be heard. And he called out the street name.
Yeah.
That's not an insurrection. You know, it's like I don't even want to talk about it because it's so preposterous. And they sit there, Kamala Harris, and it was either Chuck Schumer or one of them other people, you know, openly supporting the violent riots and saying, "Oh, we're not going to let them stop. We're not. I'm not going to tell them to stop."
Yeah,
And
well,
you know,
that's exactly
it's not.
right.
It's so preposterous and evil. It's hardly worth even mentioning. You know, Trump was ahead of an insurrection. And then if I can comment to Matthew, he was talking about Israel, and I actually agree with Rusty, you and him regarding the $14 billion. Matthew was questioning whether they're our biggest ally. I believe there is a unique bond between Israel and United States in the same way that there's a unique bond between Great Britain and United States. The Bible says, and I know Matthew, I've heard him on the air for many times. I know he goes to church. So, you know, the Bible does say, God said it. He said, I will bless the people that bless my people. And, you know, it was in the context of Israel, the man Israel. And Jacob's name was changed to Israel. And, you know, even as Christians, we sing that song, Father Abraham had many sons, sons had Father Abraham, and I am one of them, and so are you. So, you know, and then in the New Testament, Paul would talk about the Gentile believers being grafted in. So, you know, we're grafted in to God's kingdom, you know,
and our show, and there's a couple of really good shows. You need to listen to Liberty and Lockdown because they do a much better job than I. I am not spiritually and religiously as sophisticated as some of those, so I don't know a lot of that history. But I wanted to ask you one comment because I want to get into this one issue, and that is this is about immigration in the United States. Okay, Texas Governor Abbott, I think, should go down in history as saving America if what he's doing works. What he's been doing is sending immigrants to the north, to Illinois, my home state, to New York, and the people there are realizing that this is wrong, that this is incredibly wrong. It's not that they're hateful, but it's like, what do we do? How did we prepare for this? We didn't. And just yesterday in Texas, a judge in the federal court in the Western District of Texas ruled that the Border Patrol could not, as they were doing, remove razor wire from the border, which the Texas state authorities had put there to stop illegal immigration. I'm like, when I read this story, I was like, oh my God, they caught him red-handed. Now,
Yeah.
they were claiming they did it because they had to protect the immigrants. Wait a minute. You don't have to protect them. You have to keep them out. That's what the razor wire is for. And so, what have you been following this controversy?
I would love to comment on that.
Go ahead.
It's insanity. It's got to be. They're doing it on purpose to water down the patriots in this country. They cannot control this country, and this country is standing in the way of their New World globalist agenda.
There you go.
And the more they can water down our culture and get it to where we got 5 different cultures trying to get along at the same time in one city, Kenner alone, Metairie. I mean, just it doesn't. It's a balkanization. It doesn't work. They destroyed the whole melting pot thing, and now you got people like Matthew was saying. You know why? Let me say this, Mr. Jack. There's a picture in the Epoch Times of a Border Patrol agent lifting up the razor wire, letting the people through.
Right.
So the Epoch Times had that on one of their front pages. Not the main front page, but one of the sections. And it's insanity. And the issue is, look at everywhere. And I know Muslims are probably not the number one problem that we're facing in the world or even in this country. But show me a predominantly Muslim country where there's freedom. There's not. Show me. Fast forward 50 years, any country that lets Muslims come in, they don't assimilate. They start their own little neighborhoods and they start burning cars, like in France. They start dictating the terms to the first responders, where they can go, where they can't go.
You raised excellent points, Stephen, and I gotta leave. I wish I had more time tonight, but you raised terrific points, and particularly the point about Europe. We shouldn't be blaming ourselves. It isn't just what's happening in America. Look at Europe. Stephen, thanks for the call. Give a listen Thursday night. And to our radio audience and our internet audience, thank you for joining us tonight. Thursday night at 7 o'clock, we'll be back on, and we'll have hopefully some new issues, but these issues we've scratched the surface tonight, but we haven't done the in-depth work that I'd like to. Anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks to all the callers, and we'll see you Thursday night. Jack Clegg Show, Thursday night edition. I'll be here in a couple of days. Thank you.
This is Kate Delaney from America Tonight. The show kicks on